This ancient lake is about 1/4 kilometre from the hill fort where Graham Phillips thinks the real King Arthur might be buried.
So if Arthur was actually buried at the hill or near the hill there, then the nearest lake would be where his sword was thrown.
If sacrificial or votive offerings were made here in the Dark Ages, they could still be found.
So this lake here could very well be where the historical Arthur's sword, the real Excalibur, may lie.
Graham Phillips thinks the sword of a real King Arthur might have been thrown into this lake as a sacrifice. A team of marine archaeologists begin their scan of this body of water, searching for artifacts that could prove that this is more than just a theory.
If someone was buried here, his sword very much could have been cast into the lake. Who was buried here is the question. If it was Arthur, or the hero that we now remember as Arthur, then it's possible we have a sword that's come down to us in legend as Excalibur.
The team survey the lake using sonar to see just what's down below.
Hopefully, this scientific equipment is going to be able to find out if there's really something at the bottom of that lake. Hopefully, the sword of the historical King Arthur, Excalibur.
The archaeologists use an underwater metal detector to try and find any artifacts. It seems this lake may have been considered sacred. Precious objects have been found here. But now, the team has to find King Arthur's legendary sword.
We've just had the reading go from completely as far as it'll go to the negative, right the way through to the positive. It means something's affecting the Earth's magnetic field, normally a big heap of metal. We've got something huge sitting up at this end of the pool nearest to the hill fort.
If precious objects were offered as sacrifices over hundreds of years, the team could be dealing with a large amount of metal. The divers disappear into this dark body of water.
Obviously he can't see anything down there, so he's having to actually feel his way round.
The diver systematically searches the bottom of the lake in a circular pattern.
This lake may have had 5,000 years of votive offerings, right up to modern day. We're looking for one particular offering in that 5,000 years worth of history.
After an hour underwater, the search ends in disappointment.
You're not actually seeing anything. You've got no point of reference. Zero vis, deep silt, and cold.
The meters of silt at the bottom of the pool makes it mission impossible.
You could throw a car in there and it would just disappear into the mud.
Whatever gave the reading on the metal detector is simply impossible to find.
The chances of you finding it without dredging the lake, 0.